Hey guys, it's Alex. So, you guys might be wondering why I have cat whiskers and a cat little nose. And this is going to be my first video for my Halloween little series, sort of. So, I'm going to have like DIY treats and costumes, and I will be actually telling you guys some of my paranormal experiences. So as a little disclaimer, I know some people do not believe in ghosts or any supernatural or paranormal or whatever. I respect that. I'm completely okay with that. And every single one of these stories I'm telling you is 100% true. I am not making any of it up. I don't know why I would make it up, but all of them is 100% true. Like, I can guarantee it with my own eyes and ears, and you can even ask my mom if you want to, because she was there for like half of these. So, the first paranormal experience I had was when I was living in my Gaithersburg house, which was when I was really, really little. I was like 7 or 8, I think, when this started happening. And of course, my parents never believed me because they were like, oh, like it's like something like Ding Dong Ditch or something, or whatever it is. So, what was happening was, it was like my first night home alone. I was like 7 or 8, and I was watching TV, and like the parents always told me like all the rules, like don't answer the door, like just watch TV. Like, it was like they were going out to like see a movie or dinner and stuff. So I was home alone for like gonna be like a few hours. So I was watching TV and I heard 3 knocks on the door. So I went over to the door and I looked at the little like people to see like if anyone was there, and no one was there. So I was like, okay, like I probably like imagined it, or like it was on the TV, or like even as a child I was like very like logical. So I thought I just imagined it. So I went back to the living room and I went back to watching TV. So let me just like give a layout of the house really quick though. The way that my townhouse was, there was a townhouse here, which was ours, a townhouse here, a little pot of a garden, and then two townhouses across from ours. And then in the little like square quad, I guess you can call it, there was steps, and you could see like part of the street. And me and my stepsister, we shared a room. Like, we had bunk beds, and then we had a separate room, which was like the study room, which had like desks and where we did all of our homework and everything. And that window faced the little quad and the stairs and the street and everything, so you could see everything. So that was just like the general layout. So I continued watching TV, and about like maybe like 20-30 minutes later, I heard 3 knocks on the door again. So at like this point, I was getting like a little bit freaked out because like I know I heard it. So I went back up to the doors, and there was two windows on each side of the doors. So I moved like the little like curtain a little bit just so like I could look out the window door, and I didn't see anybody again. So like this point, I was actually getting like kind of freaked out because I know I didn't imagine it. Like, I even turned like the TV off, and like I didn't hear anything. So I went back to the living room and I started watching TV again. And I heard like maybe like 20 minutes later again, I heard 3 knocks on the door. And so I went up, and instead of going to the like people or the window, I went up to the study room and I looked out that window, and I did not see anyone in the quad or on the street or anything. So I was so scared. Like, keep in mind, I was like 8, and it was my first time home alone. I was freaked out. I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, you have to get home now. I'm freaking out. There's like someone like knocking on the door. Like, I was freaked out. Like, I was like, I probably was having like a panic attack, and I was not noticing it because I was having like such a deep panic attack. So, so I ran in my room and I like hid under the covers in my bunk bed, and I did not come out of there from those covers until I heard the door opening and my mom yelling, "We're home." I ran out those steps and I saw that I was crying. And I was like, I told my mom the story, and like they never believed me until we moved to my Bella house. And that is when like it was like paranormal, like a century. Okay. So the first thing that happened at that house, when I moved there, I was in the 5th grade. So that was what, 3, 4, 7, that was like 8 years ago. So I was about 10 years old when I moved. So a little bit older. The first thing happened within like the first week we moved in there. And maybe in the first couple of days, the way this house was set up was, it was a really big house. So we had a family, like once you walked into the door, like this is the door, we had like a family room. And then when you walked down the hallway, there was like a living room. And then there was like the dining room. And then the sunroom was right there, if that made any sense. So my parents were in the sunroom and I was in the little like family room, which when you walked in. And I was like 10 and I was playing with my Pokemon cards. I still adore my Pokemon cards till this day. And my parents were in the sunroom talking about, I don't even know what they were talking about. So all of a sudden the radio turned on. And before, like, they looked at the radio, both my mom and my dad, and they were like, and it was like really, really loud too. Like when the radio turned on, I heard it from the family room and I looked and I'm like, okay, they probably like turned on the radio. But I was also like, why did they turn it on like so loud? But before they even like had a chance to say like what, the fan, like, I remember this perfect, like I can never forget it. The fan above me started spinning really, really, really fast. Like, you know, like there's like the different settings. Well, it went on like the highest setting and it started spinning and my cards went like everywhere and I was so scared. I screamed like bloody murder, like someone was coming and like stabbing me with a knife. That's how loud I screamed. And we had a TV stand like right in front of me, and when my parents like ran in, they like ran. I was like huddled in a corner in that TV stand and I was put into the fan and I'm like, that fan just turned on by itself. Like I was like shaking. I was so scared. Like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it because it's like midnight right now and I'm home alone. So yeah, but that was the first experience that I had at that house. Oh my God, it still freaks me out to this day because I'm like, that house shouldn't even be called a house. Like it should be called like a haunted mansion. Anyway, so the way I'm going to tell it isn't going to be in order because there was just so much, like there was no way I'll be able to remember it in order. So, but another like really big thing that I remember was I was at my best friend's Jesse's house and what I was doing was irrelevant, but I was playing with little pet shops. And my mom and my dad moved the dining room table like in that little hallway that I said. And my little sister's watching TV again. And they heard knocking on the door, 3 knocks. Ring a bell. And my dad went to go up and he went and got it. And he opened, like we had a screen door and then like the big heavy door that you opened. So he opened that door because it was like a little bit cracked. So he opened that and he didn't see anyone. So he looked over to my mom and he was like, Olga, come here. So she walked over there and it was winter time. So it was like snow on the ground and everything because they thought someone was playing like Ding Dong Ditch. But there was like no footsteps on the snow. And they both heard it like clear as day. And my mom told me this story when I came back home. I'm like, Mom, do you remember in Gaither's book when I told you that happened to me? She was like, oh my God. And that was like the moment where I told her I told you so. So, and then a couple of days later after that one, I was sleeping and the night before it was like a really bad storm. I think it was the year. Was it the year that it was? No, it wasn't. But it was the year that we did get like a really heavy snowstorm. So the night before, they canceled schools or they gave like a 2-hour delay or something. I don't remember. But even as a little kid, like I liked my beauty sleep. So I made sure I told my parents because they had a tendency of like trying to wake me up. Like they forgot. So I told them, I'm like, do not wake me up. I want to sleep in. So they're like, okay. So I think my little sister was born at this time and she could walk. So the way that my room was set up, it was kind of, if you saw my room tour, it's kind of the exact same way it is now. My bed was faced in this direction and instead of like my door being in like an angle, it was like right in front of me. So I was sleeping like this and I had my like nightstand right here and I heard 3 knocks on the door and I was like a light sleeper. So I was waking up while the knocking was happening. So I thought it was like my mom or my dad like waking me up, like saying like get ready for school. So I was like, I was like, I was really mad because I was about to open the door right there. And I really wish I had, but I was like, oh, forget it. Like, I'll talk to them later about it. So I went back to sleep. That same day after school ended, I talked to my parents and I was like, did any of you guys knock on my door? And they were like, no, we didn't. They were like, you didn't want us to. We didn't want to wake you up. So I was like, well, did Samantha come up? And they were like, no, Samantha was with us the entire time. And I told them, there was someone knocking on my door. So then another strange thing was, this was like one of the majors. Unfortunately, I didn't see it, but my mom and my dad did. Again, like the bed was like set up my way. It was my mom sleeping on, which way would it be? This would be like the right side. She would sleep on the outer, and then my dad would sleep on the other side of her. So, and then the bathroom would be like straight ahead where like my door would have been. So my mom and my dad was just like laying down, and they were talking, and they were both facing the bathroom, and the bathroom door was wide open and the light was turned off. Well, the light all of a sudden like turned on, like it was off, and then it was completely like bright and lit and open, and like my mom and dad's eyes like got so wide apparently, and they both got up and they went over because they thought maybe like my cat jumped and like turned it on or something, even though that's kind of impossible to begin with. Like they thought maybe it was like that. Well, my cat was nowhere near the door or the window or the light switch or anything. He wasn't even in the room. So, and then my dad was trying to like fiddle with the light switch, like maybe it was like halfway and like the house vibrations like struck it or something. I have no idea how that would have happened, but the next day me and my mom like turned it like halfway, which is really hard to begin with. Like it took us like a minute or two, and then we saw banging on on like the walls and everything. It didn't like do anything. So that just saying. It was a lot of knocking at that house. Like me and my mom was in the kitchen and we were talking, and then we heard like knocking coming from like the closet that was in the kitchen, like, you know, like a where you store like food and everything, like chips and stuff. So we opened it and there was like nothing there. We thought it was maybe my cat like scratching or something. Like my cat wasn't at the door. Then I found a safe crab like right in front of the door. Like I opened the big door and like it was right there. It was big and black, and it was like a mom. My older stepsister lives on a farm and everything, so she knows about animals more than I do. And she said it was pregnant. So we took it into the garage, and we had like cat stuff for my cat and from like my previous cat that died. So we gave it like water and dry food and like wet food and like a litter box, and like we made like a bed for it and everything. And we left like the garage door like a little bit open in case it wanted to leave. Well, a couple days later, like I went in to feed it and it was gone. And of course, me being me, I was really upset. But like it had to be like maybe like a week later, like I was in the family room again and I heard meowing coming from the garage. So I thought maybe it was my cat that got locked in again. So when I opened the door, like no cat went out. So like I walked inside and I was like, Sylvester, Sylvester, pss, pss. And my cat like always listens to me. Like when I call it, it usually like runs over to me. Well, nothing happened. So I was like, okay, I imagined it. Maybe like he was meowing from like a different place or something. So then it was like a couple days later and I was with my mom and we both heard meowing coming from the garage. We looked everywhere in that garage. Like we searched like high and low. Like we got on a ladder and looked up on like the shelf. Like we looked behind everything. We did not see anything. Like a cat that would meow. My God, what else? Like me, my friend Monica, my mom left one time and my dad wasn't home. He was on some business trip, I think. And then we came home after like getting ice cream or something, and we came in and like the basement door was the basement light was on. The TV would like turn on and like turn off all by itself. Oh my gosh, it was just like crazy things. Yeah, so it was really, really bizarre. So then we moved to Fairfax and something may have happened, but I don't remember anything happening. And then we moved to my grandma's house and nothing happened. And then we moved where I'm living now with my mom. We live in an apartment, and we had a couple of occurrences here, not much though. But one of the big things was I was asleep and my mom was asleep. It was like 2 a.m. in the morning. and the computer turns on all by itself. And we have like the monitor, and then we have like a little separate computer, like the key monitor, whatever it's called, like the thing that's like the hard drive. And that turned on all by itself. And so I heard it when I was sleeping. Like I said, I was a light sleeper, so I woke up. I was like, what time is it? Maybe like it's morning, and my mom was just like using the computer. It didn't occur to me that it was like 2 a.m. So I went back to sleep. Well, my mom woke up, and like obviously no one was able to turn the computer on, and computers just don't turn on by itself. And it wasn't like it was like restarting or like program, because like when it restarts, like it turns off and then it like turns back on. Like it wasn't restarting anything, it was completely shut off, because we're really good about like turning things off to like conserve energy and power and everything. So that was really freaky. And then the last thing was just recently. It was like last Friday actually. Me, my mom, her boyfriend, and his son went to like I think it was the number 3rd most haunted place in the U.S. It was like on this island in Delaware, and it was freaky. Like it was apparently like an office, like just history. It was obvious. It was like a fort or something for like the Civil War or something like that, and a lot of black people died on it. And it had like generals and like captains and all of those. So one of the first places that we went to was the office. Was it the official? I think it was called the officials. And it had like a parlor room, then his room, and then a kid's room over here. And it was like paranormal investigators there and everything. And he had the little device that vibrates, so if someone like knocked something against it or something, it would like make like car alarm sounds, like really, really loud, and it would like vibrate. So he put it on the kid's bed, and he left. And like as soon as he stepped out of that door, like that thing went off like no other. Like it was like an alarm. Like it scared me so much. Like I was shaking. It was really, really scary. And the last place that we went to was like these tunnels or something. And the first like little tunnel section that we went to, like I heard a woman's voice when there was like no one near us. And they were saying that there was actually like where I heard the woman's voice coming from, there was actually a woman's bathroom over there. And women will always go over there to like gossip and to talk and everything, which I thought was just like out there already. And the second tunnels that we went into, like the little electromagnetic thing that like if there was something near you, it would go like to red and everything, and that would show like how much it is. Well, that thing was going off like crazy. Like it would always go to red and to like the little middle and to like the orange and to the red that was like right in the middle of those two. It was just going off. So then they also had the little radioactive thing that if they talked to you, you could hear it through it. And then so we had that, and then they also had the app that was on your phone. And if they talked, it would actually like put the word out there. So we were asking it questions, and like it repeated our question. Like we would ask if it was a male, it said yes. We asked it like if it was like a captain or like a general or something, and it said captain. And then there was like a few other ones, but I can't remember like off the top of my head. But they were saying that like the groups previous before us, they would see like a man with like red eyes, like because there was like a balcony or something that was on the second floor, even though like the second floor was like nothing was there anymore. There would be like a man with like red eyes like peering down at them. They would hear like cannons like shooting off, or like they would hear like things falling and like moving and like dragging and stuff. It was really crazy stuff. So that is all of my paranormal experiences. I'm sure it wasn't all of them. That Bel Air house had like stack upon stack, but it would take me hours to like actually explain it all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. I know some of you guys don't believe in ghosts, but I do. I believe in the supernatural completely and utterly, and if you guys experienced what I did, you guys would too. Subscribe to this channel if you want more. Leave a comment down below if you want any more like Halloween related videos, and I'm planning to do some more. I love you guys to the moon and back, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!